Hello everyone. So today in this video we are going to see about the interstate border dispute in the northeast India. So border dispute between the various states in the northeast India has been recurring since 1960s. And the dispute emerges after the states such as Nagaland, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram were cut out of the undivided Assam. However, almost all these border disputes have their origin in the colonial time and reflect the consequence of the British policy of creating and recreating the boundary for administrative convenience based on the annexation and explorations of territories in this region. The Union government has made many efforts to resolve this dispute. However, not much success has been achieved as one or the other states remain non-cooperative. Before we proceed, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe and click on the bell icons for more updates. To know in details about the border dispute among the various states in the Northeast, stay with me till the end of this video. Assam-Meghalaya border dispute. Meghalaya was carved out of Assam as an autonomous state in 1970 and became a full-fledged state in the year 1972. Assam shares an 884.9 km long border with the Meghalaya, and the border dispute stemmed from the Meghalaya's government refusal to accept the Assam Recognition Act of 1969. There are at present 12 points of dispute along the Meghalaya-Assam border, covering an area of around 2,765.14 square kilometers. And in the year April 1951, on the recommendations of the Border Committee, Block 1 and 2 of the Jaintia Hills were transferred to the Mikir Hill, currently the Karbi Anglong district of Assam, and areas in Garo Hills to the Golpara district of Assam. The contiguous area of Riboi district were also transferred to the Kamrup district of Assam. And accordingly, with the Recognition Act of 1969, the boundary line of Assam and Meghalaya was defined. But the Meghalaya government claimed that this area originally belonged to the Khasi Jaintia Hills because most of the inhabitants of this region belong to the Khasi Panar tribe. But the Assam government, on the other hand, asserted that Meghalaya archive do not have any documents to prove that this area historically belonged to Meghalaya. As the border dispute increases and become more and more violent, both the government agreed in January 1991 to jointly demarcate the border with the help of Survey of India. By the end of the year 1991, around 100 km of the border was demarcated, but later Meghalaya government refused to cooperate, arguing that this manner in which the border was demarcated was unconstitutional. And about 20 years later, in 2011, Meghalaya government passed a resolution asking the Union government to intervene and constitute a boundary commission. And in response, the Assam Assembly passed a resolution opposing the move of the Meghalaya government. Finally, in the year 2019, the Meghalaya government filed a petition in the Supreme Court urging it to direct this Union government to settle the border dispute. Till date, the situation has been under control through an effective dialogue between the government of various leaders. Assam-Nagaland border dispute. Assam and Nagaland share a 434 km long border, while the border dispute between the two states began right after Nagaland attained statehood in the year 1963. It's important to note that even before India gained independence, the Naga Nationalist Council have demanded the return of the territories which form part of the Naga Hill district. The demand was included in the 9-point agreement signed between the government of Assam and NNC in June 1947. In the point number 6 of the agreement, it was mentioned clearly about bringing back all the forests transferred to Sibsagar and Nagaon district as well as all the Naga inhabited contiguous area to the Naga Hill district. But government of India did not take any attention on the demand but decided to convert statehood to the Naga to achieve their political aspirations. Accordingly, the State of Nagaland Act 1962 was enacted, which defined its border based on the 1925 notification. The government of the newly formed state of Nagaland, however, did not accept the boundary delineation and demanded that Nagaland should comprise the erstwhile Naga Hill and all the Naga-dominated area in the North Kachar and Nagaon district, which were part of the Naga territory in 1866. In all, Nagaland demanded 12,488 square kilometers of Assam territory, all of which comprises of the 10 reserve forests. Refusal of the Naga to accept the notified boundary saw large forest strike of Assam and crosses upon by the Naga rebels in 1960s, which were used as an hideout. As encroachment increases, tension between the Assam and the Nagaland flooded up, resulting into the first border clash in 1965. Since then, violent clashes along the Assam and Nagaland border have become regular feature, with major conflict reported in the year 1960, 1979, 1985 and latestly in 2014. Several committees were formed and attempts were made to resolve the border dispute. Even Supreme Court also attempted to resolve the dispute amicably through mediation, but all the attempts were failed. Meanwhile, the reserve forests which were a part of the disputed belt are being encroached upon by the citizens of both Assam and Nagaland with full support from their respective government. The Assam government alleged that Nagaland has claimed encroachment upon 589 square kilometers of Assam land. As the settlement grew, people from both the states come in close contact, resulting in frequent clashes. Assam Mizoram border dispute. Mizoram was carved out of Assam and established as a union territory in the year 1972 and as a full-fledged state in the year 1987. The two states share a 164.6 km long border, and the boundary between the two states is defined in the Northeast Area Act of 1971. First major incident of border dispute between the two states came to force in 1994 when Mizoram objected the Assam government of its attempt to extend its control over the reserve forest, and major clashes along the border broke out in the year 2006, 2018, 2020 and most recently in 26 July 2021. When 6 policemen from Assam were killed in a violent clash. Mizoram government accused the Assam government official of encroaching into an area called Aitlanghanar in Mizoram and destroying the plantation crop. On the other hand, the Assam government claimed that Mizoram residents have encroached upon 6.5 km inside the Assam territory and planted bananas and betel nut sapling besides constructing makeshift settlement. In all, Mizoram government claimed 819.15 square kilometer of forest territory from Assam. At present, the situation remains tense along the border. Central forces are deployed along the border to act as a buffer between the state police force. Assam-Arunachal border dispute. Arunachal Pradesh, which was once a part of Assam, shared an 804.1 km long boundary with the states. The issue of the border dispute dated back to colonial time when the British established the Inner Line Rule in 1873, which drew an imaginary border between the plain and the frontier hill, subsequently known as the Northeast Frontier Tract in 1915. Assam government assumed administrative responsibility for the Northeast Frontier Tract after the independence, and in the year 1954 it was renamed the Northeast Frontier Agency, and in 1972 it became the Union Territory of Arunachal Pradesh, and it was admitted to the Union as a state in 1987. However, before it was separated from Assam, a subcommittee led by the Assam Chief Minister Gopinath Bordoloi issued a report in 1951 with suggestions for the governments of NIFA within Assam. According to the Bordoloi Committee report, Arunachal Pradesh transferred roughly 3,648 square kilometers of the plainland of Balipara and Sadia foothills to Assam, Torong and Lakhimpur district. Arunachal Pradesh has long claimed that the transfer was made without its people's consent. It was arbitrary and deficit, and no tribal leader was consulted before the land was transferred. The dispute arose after the Arunachal Pradesh became a union territory in 1972. And after that, several attempts were made between 1971 and 1974 to demarcate the boundary, but none were successful. In the year 1979, a high-powered tri-party committee was formed to outline the border using Survey of India map and consultation with both the parties. And by the year 1983-84, 489 km has been marked, largely on the north bank of the Brahmaputra. However, further delineation could not begin since Arunachal Pradesh refused to accept the suggestion in accordance with the 1951 notification. Assam government opposed and filed a petition in the Supreme Court in 1989 sitiating an encroachment by the Arunachal Pradesh. In order to resolve this issue between the two states, the Supreme Court formed a local border committee in 2006, which was led by former Supreme Court judge. Assam has raised the issue of encroachment in 2020 and claimed that Arunachal Pradesh has encroached upon 6,375 hectares of its forest land. And it is important to note that Assam government has been periodically launching evacuation drive in the encroached land, leading to violence on the ground and tension. The present situation on the border is calm but could flare up at any moment given that the encroachment from both the sides is taking place at a rapid pace, and the issue is further politicized by various vested interest groups. Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Pema Khandu and his Assam counterpart Himanta Biswa Sarma decided to form a district level committee to settle their interstate boundary. I hope you like this information, and for more updates, stay in touch with the Voyage Hive. Thank you for watching the video.